Welcome to VFILES.DATA.
PROM, short for promenade, is an event occurring in the Western world at the end of high school level education. Attendees typically range from 14 to 19 years of age, but can eclipse 21 years of age in the case of repeated grade levels. Promenade's etymology comes from a reflexive French verb, se promener, meaning to take a leisure walk in public. Students will usually wear formal attire, that is, garments only donned, and usually rented, for specific occasions. This is also known as black tie. While other Western countries have proms, either American influence or prevailing global beauty trends often render the two photographically indistinguishable. The quote, promposal, is often the first phase of the prom process. This is similar to a marriage proposal, except instead of attaining an agreement of matrimony, the aim in prom is attending a dance. Prom attendees simultaneously accrue social media impressions by virtue of the monetary value spent on the event. The average cost of a promposal in the United States is approximately $351, about that of a pre-taxed 40-hour work week, at minimum wage. Promposals do not always arrive. When her daughter and prom posse were not invited to prom, one Seattle, Washington mother posted a Craigslist ad seeking, quote, for hot males from 17 to 19 years old. During prom, the female will usually then both agonizes and spends, on average, upwards of $1,000 on a dress, transportation, and cosmetology. Of note, due to advancements and price fluctuations in prom attire, manufacturing process dresses are often indistinguishable from designer gowns that are of immensely higher costs and could conceivably be worn on award show red carpets. The standard hairstyle for the prom is the prom updo. Much writing and media exists on this topic, with article titles such as 101 Prom Updos You Need to See, and 50 Most Delightful Prom Updos for Long Hair in 2016. The updo is achieved by taking the hair and elaborately plaiting and curing it into an arrangement resembling a bird's nest that is pinned in place, sprayed with an aerosol adhesive, and rests horizontal or at a 15-degree angle to the base of the skull. On the day of prom, a high school social group or clique often journeys to the most affluent and or scenic house of one party member. Here are taken, on average, upwards of 7,000 images by the attendees' legal guardians. Typically, prom attendees confine themselves to a limited array of standard poses. These poses often include the pinning of the boutonniere pose, which usually matches the corsage and vice versa. Another common pose is the, quote, leg pop, in which one leg is lifted in the air, ostensibly because of excitement, or the state of being enamored with one's date. The couples on a staircase pose, along with two or three more standard poses, make up the standard retinue of prom photographs. It is not uncommon for the students to rent a limousine, or the elongated version of a vehicle, to take them to the prom. This means of conveyance suggests exclusivity and permits raucous behavior. Some prom attendees rent expensive automobiles in which they are driven, or sometimes merely haul behind them to the entrance of the school. Popular prom themes include recreating Paris, France, usually with a cardboard Eiffel Tower, as well as another French iteration, the masquerade, where the student's face is obscured. Often, it is a country or culture outside of the US that is celebrated, such as this prom package called, quote, Mini Journey to Arabia theme. The school's gymnasium usually hosts the event, most likely due to the probability of it being the most voluminous area, while also having superior acoustics as disc jockeys are usually present. Students usually consume mocktails, also known as non-alcoholic beverages resembling their alcoholic equivalents. The age at which American young people can consume ethanol is currently 21, at time of transmission. Here, students purchase soda pop instead of ethanol, a depressant. At most promenade events, many high schools hold an award ceremony in which a king and queen of prom are announced. The regency elected are usually the most well-known, attractive, and envied students at the institution, due to a democratic voting process that is emotionally biased due largely in part to the endocrine system. Proms are usually chaperoned by parents of the students who volunteer. Chaperoning is usually necessary to prevent sexual experimentation between the students. Chaperones often cannot contain students' burgeoning sexuality. Indeed, the losing of one's virginity on the night of prom is a cultural cliché in the United States. Proms are highly susceptible to chaos theory. Sometimes the combined weight of a group photo can cause supporting structures to fail. This wooden beam in Lac La Belle, Wisconsin, failed. This prom story was broadcast by multiple news networks. Anti-proms across the US have sprung up, usually in protest against prevailing gender binary norms, school policies, and decadence. Some schools, when forced by an injunction to host same-sex partners, cancel the prom for all students in retaliation. This was the case for Constance McMillan, who wanted to wear a tuxedo and bring her girlfriend. Kellenberg Memorial High School cancelled their prom. The school principal who made the decision wrote a letter to concerned parents. The flaunting of affluence, assuming exaggerated expenses, a pursuit of vanity for vanity's sake, in a word, financial decadence. Many American films feature prom as a setting for prom-related dramatic action. In Never Been Kissed, Josie Geller, played by Drew Barrymore, is an undercover reporter at a high school who has never been kissed. In the end, she is kissed. In She's All That, another exemplary prom rom-com, a bevy of upper-class teenagers from Southern California reenact George Bernard Shaw's play, Pygmalion. The tragedy in the movie is that Freddie Prinze Jr. falls in love with a school's geek, whom he, against all odds, has made into the prom queen based on a wager. In another 1999 film, Jawbreaker, a prom queen is murdered by accident. The movie also attempts to be humorous. Rotten Tomatoes, the film review aggregator, named it the worst movie of 1999. The shadow-over of the potentially negative outcomes of prom is the 1976 movie, Carrie. Carrie, played by Sissy Spacek, is a social outcast due to her mother's religious fanaticism and demeanor. After being publicly humiliated in front of the student's body at prom, Carrie uses telekinesis to annihilate said student body. 4 years later saw the release of Prom Night, wherein a murderer targets a group of students on prom night in retaliation for their killing of a 6-year-old girl. Prom is filled with emotion, prom is filled with light, prom is glittery. Many have fun at prom, and many students do not, but prom appears to be an event that many United States citizens imbue with the emotions of hope, romantic love, and pride. It seems that prom, like the sport of baseball, is an American pastime. Prom will remain a public fascination until either radical class restructuring occurs, or global warming threatens all human life. Data transmission complete.